All right, folks. So BioWare just dropped a brand new update, which is covering everything around the skill tree, the progression of your characters. It's a deep dive, and for those of you who want to dive into the blog post, there will be a link here. We're also going to watch the combo video here. This will be the thing that we pay attention to the most. If you haven't already seen this, if you go to their Discord, they've got links up to this. But essentially, we've got this video here, which is the Veilguard Progression Deep Dive Parts 1 through 3 combined, and then it's journal entry number 7, Progression and Companions, and it's all about skill tree progression, item progression, and companions progression. So we're going to be diving into this today to take a look at this in greater detail. As always, this is part of my continued Dragon Age coverage. If you weren't aware, I am going to be playing this game when it launches. I've played all the games in this series. I love BioWare as a company. I am ride or die with BioWare. Have been since they launched their first game. Will be until they no longer exist or I go into the grave, whichever happens first. But the next one for us is Dragon Age the Veilguard on October 31st. I am going to probably be playing a Ranger, but I don't know. The Shield Bash stuff I've seen in the videos has made me really want to play a tank for the first time in a long time. So let's take a look at this and get a closer look at progression in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Daily streams here and on Twitch, 11 a.m. Central, everybody, and sometimes in the afternoons. I play a lot of games. It's a variety channel.
I'm producer at bioware. Let's take a look at game progression in Dragon Age the Veilguard.
I'm on board for this.
In this video, we'll cover skill progression,
cool,
item progression,
cool,
and companion progression.
Perfect.
My goal is to build a rogue assassin who darts around my enemies and strikes them down with poison blades.
Okay.
In order to craft this build, I'll need to invest in the right skills, find and upgrade gear, and ensure my companions complement my
God, this
strategy.
I love the UI in this
game,
guys.
Let's start by looking at skill progression. As you complete missions, find codex entries, explore the world, and kill enemies, you'll level up your class. Each new level grants more health and unlocks skill points. The Constellation skill tree is where you spend points.
Okay, so we see this one starting the Sentinel. Below is Veil Ranger. I'll be going Veil Ranger, everybody. But they've got Duelist and Saboteur here. I'm definitely going Veil Ranger for my first playthrough. This is what I want. Pew 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 pew. For sure.
To unlock new skills. Each class has a unique skill tree and can specialize in a specific form of combat.
Okay, look at all those nodes that we're going to be able to spend.
Level 20. Rogues can specialize as saboteurs, Veil Rangers, or duelists. I'm going to build toward the duelist specialization, which emphasizes agility and poisoning enemies with necrotic damage.
It's great for people who want that melee-based combat.
There are 4 types of skills: traits, passives, abilities, and ultimates.
Okay.
Traits are activated by button combos. The Riposte trait launches a powerful counterattack after a successful parry or defend. Passives are skills that are always active. The Death's Blessing passive gives you
So this game's going to have combos on top of everything else?
Abilities are actions you trigger during combat. With the Toxic Dash ability, you dash toward your target to land a deadly blow, dealing necrotic damage. This also applies the Sundered status, but we'll talk more about statuses when we get to companions. And finally, ultimates are high-impact, large attacks that take longer to charge up, but create devastating amounts of damage. Within the duelist specialization, I have access to a unique ultimate ability called a Murder of Crows. I'll unlock this ability and then switch over to my character screen to equip my new ultimate.
Okay.
You can swap out your abilities and ultimates anytime you're not in combat.
Anytime you're not in combat. That's so not just at your camp. That's good to know.
But we'll get to that in part 2.
Okay, and I was going to say, enchanting abilities is a whole other thing.
Unlocking new skills and choosing a specialization.
Oh, that looks amazing.
You can start to design your ideal playstyle. But this is only the beginning. In part 2, we'll talk about item progression.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Your character, Rook, can equip up to 9 items. Each class has their own main hand, offhand, and alternate weapon. For example, my rogue has a sword, a rapier, and a bow for ranged attacks. You also have a helmet, armor, a belt, an amulet, and 2 rings. You can acquire items in 2 ways. The first is by visiting vendors and faction stores.
God, I love the art style for this, guys.
With each faction,
and the UI layout. I keep loving the colors and everything.
The second way to acquire items is simply by finding them in the world. For example, while exploring the Necropolis halls, I discover a new main hand weapon, the Enchanted Long Blade. Every item has stats and properties, as well as a rarity, ranging from uncommon to rare, to epic, to legendary. This uncommon item has high physical damage and stagger stats, along with a property that deals plus 20% final attack damage.
That's pretty awesome.
Making the final blow and attack chains more powerful. Perfect for my melee-focused assassin build.
Oh yeah!
But what if I want to make it even better? At the heart of item progression is the Caretaker's Workshop.
Okay, crafting.
The Caretaker
upgrades.
is a mysterious entity that has set up shop in your home base, the Lighthouse.
I go where I am needed, Dweller.
Okay.
Now, I am here.
Here you can upgrade item stats and enchant your items. The workshop has its own rank, 0 to 10.
Okay.
You can increase this rank by finding caretaker mementos out in the world.
So exploring is going to be key.
The higher the rank, the better your upgrades. When you upgrade an item, you'll spend the required resources, and that item will get a stat increase.
Okay.
At the same time, its level will increase by 1 until it matches your current Caretaker's Workshop rank.
Okay.
A higher rank unlocks new enchantments. These can be applied to an item or ability, imbuing it with a unique property. For example, I can enchant my main hand weapon with plus 25% more stagger to quickly set up enemy takedowns. I'll also add an enchantment to one of my abilities, Toxic Dash, to increase its crit damage by 25%.
Very cool.
Your companion's items can be upgraded and enchanted as well. More on that in part 3. But the workshop rank affects more than just the items you bring to the shop. Anytime you find or buy a new item in the world, its level will match the current rank. So if your current rank is 1, new items you find will be at level 1. But if your current rank is 5, new items will be at level 5.
Okay, that makes sense.
And if you find or purchase a duplicate of an item you already own, 2 things happen.
You can use it to upgrade
yourselves.
First, the level of your existing item will jump up to match the Caretaker's Workshop rank, increasing its stats. The item will also be empowered, unlocking a property and increasing its rarity. Buying a duplicate of my offhand weapon, the Duelist Blade, bumps up the blade's stats, unlocks a property that applies necrosis to enemies I hit with riposte.
Very cool.
And changes its rarity from uncommon to rare. So it's a good idea to keep leveling up your Caretaker's Workshop, because the higher its rank, the better your items will be.
Yeah.
Whether you're upgrading them at the workshop or finding them out in the world. Another item type you can find or buy are runes.
Okay.
Each rune provides a passive bonus.
More
to
stat
your build,
bonus. Okay,
as
passive
well as
bonuses.
An active bonus you can trigger. Up to 3 runes can be slotted into Rook's Lyrium Dagger.
Okay.
I'll slot in this Scorch rune, which allows my otherwise necrotic focused build to deal out fire damage.
Very groovy.
But skills, items, and upgrades aren't the only elements of creating your build, because in the Veilguard, you're not fighting alone.
Your companions can level up too.
In part 3, we'll talk about companion progression. Each companion has their own skill tree and unique items. They can be equipped with a main hand weapon,
Okay.
an offhand weapon or keepsake, armor, and a trinket.
Okay.
Some gear, such as this Corvid cloak on Lucanus, can enhance my character's build. In this case, applying bleeding or necrotic damage whenever I detonate an overwhelmed target.
So it's a
And at the Caretaker's Workshop,
little bit
I
of
can
a
upgrade
bonus,
and enchant
like combo
companion
bonus.
items just like Rook's gear. Let's upgrade Lucanus' Corvid cloak to level 5, greatly increasing its bonus ability damage and enchant it with +1 maximum stack of necrosis. Companions also have their own skill trees,
Very
so as
cool.
they level up, you can spend points to unlock skills that complement your own. Some abilities can serve as primers,
Okay.
applying status effects to enemies such as sundered, overwhelmed, or weakened. Other abilities are detonators, combining with primers to create powerful detonations on status-afflicted targets. You can swap out companion abilities anytime you're not in combat, just like Rook.
Also
In
cool that
some
you can do it at any
cases,
point in
you'll
time,
wanna
not
spec
just back at your
companions
camp.
with abilities that can
Or
fill
lighthouse,
in
I
for
forget
weak
what they're
spots
calling
in
it.
your build. For example, if I know I'm going to face a horde of Darkspawn, which are resistant to my Rook's necrotic damage but weak against fire, I'll want to bring along a companion like Davrin, who has powerful fire abilities. I'll also bring Nev, who can detonate targets that I've primed.
Very nice.
First, I'll use Davrin's Asan's Strike ability to inflict fire damage and knock down his Darkspawn.
Okay.
Next, I'll rush in with Toxic Dash to prime a target with the Sundered status.
Very
And
nice.
finally, I'll use Nev's Icebreaker ability on the Sundered
Blow
enemy
'em up.
to detonate it.
Here comes. Boom.
In other
Shakalaka.
situations, such as this battle against the undead, I want to max out my necrotic damage potential. I can accomplish that by bringing along Lucanus, a fellow rogue whose gear and abilities increase the amount of necrotic damage I can deal out. Our progression systems allow you to finely tune your skills, gear, and companions to create the perfect build.
It's going to be so much fun, guys. I can't wait. That's the Murder of Crows ability, I think. Yeah. Guys, I am on board for all of this. If you haven't figured it out now, by this point, I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and I'm so excited. Like I remember when Dragon Age Origins first came out, I lost like 6 months to that game. Now this is a long time ago, and it's before I was playing, all the variety of games that I play these days. But Dragon Age has been a franchise near and dear to my heart for many years, along with Mass Effect. I cannot wait to play Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I'm going to continue to cover the IGN first series that they're doing throughout the month of September, and of course any of the blog updates that they drop, because I'm extremely excited for this, and I want to share that excitement with all of you and remind you that we will be streaming the absolute snot out of this game come October 31st, and this will be the mainstream game when it comes around. In the meantime, though, we've got other games to get through. We're about to wrap up Star Wars Outlaws. We're going into Space Marine 2. We've got the Starfield Shattered Space DLC. We've got things like Starship Troopers and Black Ops 6 campaign, and probably the Diablo 4 DLC to get through before we get to Dragon Age Vanguard. Plus, we're playing Lord of the Rings Online, World of Warcraft, and a bunch of other stuff. So, daily streams happen here and on Twitch at 11 a.m. Central, sometimes a little bit earlier. We do a lot of stuff in the afternoons and evenings as well. So, we'll see you there. Don't forget the socials, Discord, Patreon. Have fun, everybody. Safe gaming.